It's Against the Grain Sports. We are here with our NBA edition. Today we are talking best in the West. We want to know what Against the Grain Sports thinks about who is the best team to come out of the West this season and make it to the NBA Finals and potentially win an NBA championship. Jody, I'm going to start with you first. Who's the best in the West right now?
Wow, that right now, if you would have asked me this question 10 days ago, I had a different answer. But guess what I got? This is my answer right now. This might blow y'all off y'all seat. And Jason, I think you're gonna like this one. I think right now, if the season ended right now, the best team right now is the Denver Nuggets in the Western Conference. The Denver Nuggets, with the addition of Aaron Gordon, he has just opened up that offense to a different level. It has opened up Jamal Murray. It has opened up the Joker. You seen Barton just had a great game. Michael Porter Jr. I mean, these guys are playing at a high level. And I think right now, if the Lakers better be glad that the playoffs is not starting right now. Now, we can't deny the Utah Jazz, who is playing at a high level as well, and we cannot deny the Phoenix Suns. But right now, the Denver Nuggets, in my opinion, is the best team in the Western Conference. I know everybody like, well, what about LeBron? LeBron is hurt. Okay, LeBron and AD needs to get back healthy, and they better get back healthy soon because they could potentially have to fall to the 7th or 8th, and they may have to do the play-in game if they're not lucky, if they don't get some of these guys back soon. And this is what I will say though, Kane, before I let Jason go on. I have to take my hat off to LeBron James if he has to play a play-in game. The gauntlet of teams he would have to go through would be amazing to win the championship if he falls that far. He would have to potentially go against the Utah Jazz, and in the second round, he potentially would have to go against the Denver Nuggets, and potentially in the third round, he could be going against the Phoenix Suns. All these teams are playing at a high level, and not to mention if he do get to the final, he would have to potentially go against Brooklyn, and that's what I would definitely probably move LeBron James behind in front of Kobe Bryant as the second best all time if he can do this.
Jason, go ahead and give me your best of the West.
So right now I got the best of the West. I'm still going with regular season right now. I still got the Jazz as the best team in the West. Now I don't know if that's like sustainable in the playoffs, but right now I think Utah, like the defense they play, they probably. I know I was on record saying Ben Simmons should be the defensive player of the year, but I think Rudy Gobert is actually going to probably take home that defensive player of the year.
I did say that. I said it.
I think the thing about Rudy Gobert, he allows them to gamble on the perimeter. He allows them, Donovan Mitchell's not a great defensive player. Mike Conley's a solid defensive player, but he's aged. He's 32 or 33. You got Bogdanovich, he's pretty old. He's not. I mean, he's not a solid defensive player. Joe Ingles, he's always been a solid defensive player. Like you look at him, like man, I'm gonna give this guy 40 until you play defense against him. But I think Gobert is he's the cog that makes everything run. He protects the basket. The underrated aspect that a lot of people don't realize about the Jazz is the addition of Derek Favors come off the bench, so you can spell Gobert and you don't lose too much when you put Derek Favors in the game. So I think the Jazz for right now is still the best team in the West. But I do agree with your assessment, Jody, with the Nuggets. I think the Nuggets, I think Aaron Gordon gives them just another gear that they didn't have. He's more athletic than Paul Millsap, who was playing that position prior. He's more of a scoring threat than Jeremy Grant was prior last year. And I think with him being able to the slashing and the cutting that he brings to this team, it unlocks the Joker's passing ability. If you put him at the top of the key, you have somebody who actually finish underneath the rim, and you still have you have to worry about Jamal Murray turning the corner with the speed. The Clippers, I want to see what they look like with playoff Rondo. I'm kind of like seeing they're sandbagging right now. So we'll see what happens in the playoffs when Rajon Rondo turns into a totally different person when he gets to the playoffs. The Suns, they have Devin Booker. He get in the playoffs first time. I don't know if he's going to be able to get it done, but I can see the Suns as being a threat. But I can't see them going deep into the playoffs. Chris Paul. Chris Paul, his body tends to break down to later on in the season every year. So we have to see how effective or if they're going to start controlling his minutes to prevent him from breaking down. The Lakers, I feel like the Lakers, if they're healthy, are the favorite. I just have to see them gel and see if they can play. They have to gel. They need time to gel. They need time. A calf, that is not a calf strain that Anthony Davis has. I don't care what they say. That man's struggling with an Achilles injury. We all know Achilles injuries are tricky. They've held him. He's been out for almost 2 months now. we'll have to see if he can bounce back with it, if he has a slight tear in the Achilles or if it's a full blown tear. But if he's able to come back, LeBron comes back. They both consider be rested. I can see them running through the West, perhaps once if they can gel and utilizing Andre Drummond to kind of spell AD. I don't see him as a threat, but I think he can help spell AD. He hurt. Somebody stepped on his foot, so he broke his toe. I mean, he broke a toenail or something like that. It's not really. But I think if the Lakers can get back, get healthy, kind of gel a little bit, I still have them as the team to beat out West. But these other teams are really presenting more of a challenge. It won't be a cakewalk like it was last year through the Western Conference.
Okay, Gerard.
I've been talking about Denver since the beginning of the season, even before they got Aaron Gordon. I talked about, the reason why Bobo can't get on the court is because of Millsap, and now they added Aaron Gordon. So I would expect to see Bobo on the trade market next year because he's never getting on the court now. And Bobo is a really good player, but I can see Denver coming out of the West, and I also can see Denver winning the championship over the Brooklyn Nets because I think Denver is built to beat the Brooklyn Nets. Everybody wants to talk Brooklyn into a championship, but you still got to actually play the game on the court. And I don't believe that the Brooklyn Nets can beat the Denver Nuggets.
Well, like I said, I didn't really want to talk about Brooklyn, but I mean, that's right now what I like about what's going on in the Western Conference is a team that we didn't mention is the Portland Trailblazers. I think they'll be somewhere in the mix, Dame Lillard and a healthy CJ McCollum, and then they adding Powell into the mix. I think they can at least get out the first round. But it's a lot of talent.
We not here to talk about getting out of the first round.
Well, I'm saying it's a lot of talent.
We're here to talk about the best in the West, right? And that's why I did not mention Portland.
Well, let me finish because we forget that just 2 years ago Portland was in the Western Conference Final. Did we forget that?
No, we didn't. But they.
I'm just saying. So I'm saying I know.
But they don't have the front court that they had then.
Who they don't have that was different?
Zach Collins. Zach Collins is not he can't get healthy. Zach Collins was big pivotal to their run. He transitioned. He was a big that can play block shots and shoot threes. Zach Collins and you never know what you're gonna get on Nurkic because he stays hurt all the time. So it's just their front court is the question. If those two players were there, I actually have them as a favorite of the West. It's just they're both injured, so you can't really rely on them to get out. I mean, rely on them for anything. I would say production wise, I wouldn't count on them.
But then, Jason, you made a mention about the Clippers, man, and I forgot to mention that they added DeMarcus Cousins. DeMarcus Cousins is not going to move the needle that much, but at least if he averaged 9 points a game with the Houston Rockets, and I think if he can get in there and give you maybe 10 to 12 points, and that may be what they need with Rondo. Like you said, Rondo becomes an all-world player when the playoffs start, man. So
well Cousins, I'm the thing about Cousins, he gonna give you 9 or 10 points. How much he gonna give up?
Right,
because he can't move to save his life. I mean, that's another guy. He's another guy coming off a torn Achilles, and he has the messed up knee. So it's he has 2 injuries that prevents him from moving. But if you want somebody to just stand in the middle and wear down somebody's big, I mean, Cousins is your guy. You just don't. I just want to trust him to play against the pick and roll or against these teams that are basically they're gonna seek him out on that pick and roll just for the switch to score on him.
Do anybody care about the Dallas Mavericks?
No,
Dallas until they get a legit secondary option, Dallas would never get anywhere. They need somebody. They need a Bradley Beal. They need somebody who's willing to come in and be a second banana, and play off of Doncic, but they just can't find that guy. It was supposed to be Porzingis, but you can't trust Porzingis because he's either going to get hurt or he's going to disappear.
But we do know Luka Doncic is going to put on the show when he get in. We do know he's going to potentially average a triple-double in the playoffs. It's going to be a high.
It'd probably be a 40, 12, and 12, man. He's still going to lose. He's probably get swept with doing that. It's like when Anthony Davis played Golden State that 1 year. I think he was averaging 37 points. 37 points, 14 rebounds, and then they got swept. I was like, there was nothing he could do because it was the only one that was there.
But I remember Gerard made mention of Golden State. I don't even know if Golden State gonna make it, brother.
They probably been in the playing game.
I don't even know if they're gonna make that the way Memphis is playing.
I don't think Golden State is gonna make the play-in game, and that's that's a discussion for another show because Steph Curry is very frustrated, and I understand. I understand exactly why he's frustrated.
But they got a lot of talent on that team. It's not like they got
They
bums on
do
there. I
have
mean,
a lot of talent. They do have a lot of talent. But if you watch the games, Draymond Green does a lot of dumb stuff, and those other players, those other talented players that we're talking about, they make a lot of dumb plays as well. Like
they don't know how to play basketball. That's the thing. Andrew Wiggins has never learned how to play basketball. He has all the talent. Again, it goes back to the discussion we had. We were talking about who was the guy we were talking about? We couldn't got all the talent, couldn't put it together. He has all the talent in the world, but he doesn't know how to play basketball. And I don't think he's willing to learn how to play basketball. If you can't learn how to play basketball from Steve Kerr, then I don't know what it is for. He's just gonna be a guy who's gonna be basically be a bounce around league. It's like he's like a more polished Gerald Green. Like seriously, Gerald Green, again, another guy who had immense talent, but he never learned how to play the game. So if you never learn how to play the game,
you called him Joe Smith, man.
Joe Smith's another one. Joe Smith's a guy, all the talent in the world, but didn't know how to play basketball. I think same thing with Kelly Oubre. All the talent in the world, don't know how to play basketball. It's like when you're playing for a bad team, you put up numbers. That's great. I mean, you're great because nobody really cares. But when it comes down to actually playing basketball and you're a great talent and your talent doesn't match the actual basketball IQ, that's when people find out, like, man, why are you even here? Why are you making the money that you're making? Like Andrew Wiggins makes what, $30 million a year?
Yeah.
And he makes $30 million a year. And it's like, okay, he might average 17, 18 points a game, but it really is a meaningless 17, 18 points a game. So
he the Corey Maggette of our time.
Yeah, exactly. There you go. Corey Maggette. Guy put up a bunch of numbers, but when the game of like playing on team, like the Warriors actually need him, and it's like he gives them nothing. He'll every now and then he'll have a game where he'll have like 30 points and he'll help them win a game. But it's like that is so far in between. It's like you were the number one pick, man, overall, and you bring nothing to the table. And you want to be a max, but you're a max player. Somebody maxed you out, unfortunately, and you have to pay that contract.
Well, Jason,
he's actually playing pretty good defense, though.
But it ain't adding the wins.
It's not $30 million worth of defense. I'm like, I'm not playing.
He playing 10 cents worth of offense right now, man. For you to be playing with Steph Curry, you can't get any space on the court. I don't know what you're gonna get. I don't know how good you're gonna be. If you with Steph Curry, where they extend the defense out to the logo, and you can't get any space to score, come on, man.
I think one of the other problems is they don't really know how to use James Wiseman because the Golden State Warriors they've been without a real true big man for so long.
Right.
They don't really know how to use Wiseman, and it shows when you watch the game because Wiseman is a really good player, but it's like he got to get it out the mud every single play. And if the guys around you are not playing with you and playing off of you, then a lot of that exertion, that energy he's exerting is kind of meaningless.
Yeah. It goes back to my point, like we were talking about in our previous conversation. Wiseman could have used that year at Memphis to develop his skills. Like when he decided to sit out and play against air, it didn't help him. Like you can practice all you want against air, do all the drills you want, but when it comes to playing actual basketball, you cannot prepare for that. You have to do that repetition. You have to play the game. And I think that the time he elected to leave college, he should have went somewhere. Like he could have went overseas and played. I don't care. He should have did something like that.
It wasn't so much as he elected to leave. I think there was a technical issue with a booster or something. Something happened.
Right.
He lost his eligibility. So
he decided it wasn't a decision
that he made. It was something technical. But
no, he could have played.
To be honest, Wiseman is not Golden State's problem. If they use Wiseman better, he will be their solution. But he's a rookie, so
he's a rookie. Yeah, it's gonna take him time to develop.
Kerr's probably not putting a lot of emphasis on him, and he's got Kevon Looney starting. Like, I mean, come on, man.
That's because Looney knows what he's supposed to. Looney knows where he's supposed to be at, like on the court. So you don't have Draymond Green barking at Looney every time, like, because he's out of position. Oftentimes, Wiseman will find himself out of position because he's sometimes you get stuck flat-footed or you're just not paying attention. You're 19 and the game's just too fast for you. Like, what the hell is going on? And then you look up and your man's gonna cut behind you for a basket. So it's like he's getting those growing pains, and unfortunately, he gets like the school of hard knocks professor and Draymond Green yelling at him all the time. It may make him better. It may make him crumble. It's interesting. It'll be interesting to see him next year and how good he develops under that just this year or two under Draymond Green.
I do want to say this too, though, y'all. I think this is a throwaway year for Golden State. I know they just waiting and counting their time for Klay Thompson to get back. I think they want to stack their chips up. I don't think they care about really making the playoffs this year. They see Steph Curry playing I can see with him having that tailbone injury, them potentially shutting Steph Curry down for the rest of the year because they like, okay, we not making no noise in the Western Conference. Let's go ahead and sit him, get Klay Thompson back healthy, get Wiseman a year under the belt, get Draymond Green together. You got Kelly Oubre. You got see what you're gonna do with Wiggins, and then potentially pick up something else. So I could see them kind of falling back a little bit and not really being concerned about winning as much as they would if Klay Thompson was in the lineup. But final thought, Jason, who do you got again? Give me your Western Conference.
My Western Conference, like if the Lakers are healthy, I still have the Lakers coming out, but if they're not healthy, if they have issues, I'm going with the Clippers for some reason. I don't know why, but I believe in playoff Rondo after last year's performance.
So you got the Clippers. Gerard, who do you got Western Conference Finals? Who's the matchup, and then who you got coming out the West?
I'm gonna go in the Western Conference Finals matchup. I'm gonna go Denver and Portland.
Who wins it?
Of course, Denver.
Okay. Well, I'm going to go against the grain. I am going to go with Denver, but I got Denver against the Los Angeles Lakers. And if LeBron James is healthy and AD is healthy, even though I think Denver is playing the best basketball, if those two guys are healthy, I can't go against LeBron James going back to another finals and potentially meeting up with Brooklyn. So everybody, once again, it's Against the Grain Sports. We just talked about the best in the West. Like and subscribe to the page. Give us your comments. Let us know what's going on. Interact with us. We'd love to talk to you. Once again, we got Gerard McCain. We got Jason Coleman. Sports y'all way.